When it comes to your immunity, your karma, let's call it your genetics, sets your starting point. Take birth itself. If you are born via C section instead of natural delivery, your immune system probably started out a little weaker. Why? Because during natural birth, a baby passes through the mother's vaginal canal and picks up trillions of healthy microbes. And these microbes are like the first soldiers of your immune army. Another factor is your mother's health at delivery. When I was born, my mother was unwell. My birth weight, just 2 kilograms. Compare that with my siblings who were each born over 4 kilograms. Now, I don't look at this as a setback. For me, this actually became my why. It pushed me to transform my weak, lanky, illness-prone body into a strong and healthy adult. I was that kid who fell sick every time the season changed. Runny nose, always, sick days too many, and I hated it. Fast forward today, I'm 42 years old and I'm proud to say that I live in what I call the green zone. Now, if you're new here and haven't checked out my video on the 4 health zones, please go watch that later on. The green zone is where most of us want to be. Most people are either just surviving, striving, or just stuck recovering. Because in the green zone, you thrive. So do I still fall sick? Yes, but it's rare. Maybe once in every couple of years. And this vitality that I have, it didn't happen overnight. I build myself brick by brick, not with magic pills, not with shortcuts, but with consistency. And here's the thing. Yes, genetics matter. I won't give it a precise number, but if you ask me, genetics maybe count for 10, at the most 20%. The rest is in your hands. It's shaped by how you think, how you live, and the habits you commit to every single day. Think of your health like a chain, and it's only as strong as its weakest link. Everyone has a weak link. For me, it was my immunity, and more specifically, my lungs, which in holistic health are associated with the metal element. So the big question is this: is there any way to actually test how strong your immune system really is? Fortunately, yes, when you go for a complete health checkup, most reports start with something called the hemogram or complete blood count, the CBC. And this is where we begin because the CBC can reveal a lot about your immune strength. So the CBC is divided into 2 main parts. First, the red blood cell count, which tells us about your blood's oxygen carrying capacity. And second, the white blood cell count, which tells us about your immune system's activity. So we'll save the red blood cells and platelets for later when we cover the cardiovascular system. Today, the spotlight is entirely on the white blood cells, the soldiers of your immune army. Now, white blood cells can tell us plenty. If they are high, for example, it means infection and inflammation. If they are low, it could point to immune suppression, bone marrow issues, or any chronic illness. If the balance between the types of white blood cells is off, it can hint at whether the issue is bacterial, viral, allergic, or parasitic. So the first test within the CBC is the differential leukocyte count, or DLC. This looks at the percentage of each type of white blood cell. So you got the neutrophils, which are the fast-acting defenders against bacteria. You have the lymphocytes, your adaptive defense team, including B cells, T cells, and natural killer cells. Monocytes, the cleanup crew that turn into macrophages. Then we have the eosinophils, which are specialists in fighting parasites and allergy-related inflammation, and basophils, small but powerful, releasing histamines to spark inflammation when needed. So the pattern of these percentages reveal the kind of immune response happening in your body. High neutrophils usually means bacterial infection. High lymphocytes, more likely viral infection. High eosinophils, often allergies or parasites. But here's the catch. Percentages can be misleading, and that's where the absolute leukocyte count or ALC comes in. This measures the actual number of each type of white blood cell in a microliter of blood. So you calculate it by multiplying the total WBC count by the percentage of that specific type. So for example, in my own report, my total WBC count is 7,600 cells per microliter. Now, neutrophils make up 32.5% of that, giving me an absolute neutrophil count of 2.47 thousand cells per microliter. My lymphocytes are a bit high, 53.9%, which works out to about 4.1 thousand cells per microliter. So why does this matter? Because absolute counts show your true immune reserve. Two people could have 50% lymphocytes, but if one has double the total white blood cell count of the other, their immune strength isn't equal. And that's why absolute counts matter more than percentages. Next up, let's talk about high sensitivity C-reactive protein or hsCRP. Now, this test doesn't count soldiers. It tells you if your army is constantly on high alert. CRP is a protein your liver makes whenever there is inflammation. The high sensitivity version can detect even tiny amounts, which means it can pick up on subtle ongoing inflammation before you even feel the symptoms. A low hsCRP usually means your immune system is calm. Moderate levels could reflect a mild infection, repair after exercise, or lifestyle-related inflammation from stress, poor diet, or lack of sleep. But if your hsCRP stays high, that is above 3 milligrams per liter, it's a warning. It suggests chronic inflammation and higher risk for long-term illness, especially related to your cardiovascular system. Personally, I'm proud of my low hsCRP score. It's a proof that the strategies that I follow to stay in the green zone are working. Because let me be clear, this test is just a snapshot in time. One result doesn't define you, which is why two things matter. First, if you're over 40, get a full checkup done every 6 months. Second, never rely on just one biomarker. The real magic comes when you look at all the 5 tests I'm covering today. Together, they give you a complete picture. The third biomarker is the ESR. This one works differently. It measures how fast your red blood cells settle in a test tube over 1 hour. Inflammation makes them clump together, and clumps fall faster. A high ESR means inflammation is happening somewhere, though it doesn't tell you where. Think of it like a smoke detector. It doesn't tell you where the fire is, but it lets you know that there is smoke. The fourth marker is one that billions of people around the world are deficient in: vitamin D3. And this vitamin is just so much more than bone health nutrient. Vitamin D3 is actually a key immune regulator. Almost every immune cell in your body has vitamin D receptors. Without enough vitamin D3, your T cells can't activate, your macrophages can't kill pathogens properly, and your immune system can't regulate inflammation. Personally, yet again, I have an excellent optimal range. Please do check out my article on vitamin D and how to optimize it in no time. Link in the description box below. Finally, we come to one of the most direct measures of immune capacity, the immunoglobulin panel. This test looks at your antibodies, IgG, IgA, IgM, and sometimes IgE. Think of them as specialized divisions in your immune army. Now, IgG is the veteran soldier responsible for long-term immunity and the one involved in delayed food allergies. IgA is your border patrol guarding your gut and lungs. IgM is the first responder, the rapid reaction force. And IgE is the allergy specialist, often involved in asthma, eczema, or reactions to pollen, dust, or food. Now, each one tells a different story about how well your immune system is working, whether it's strong, and where it might be wasting energy on unnecessary battles, like constantly reacting to foods you could simply stop eating. These 5 tests together give you a strong, practical baseline for understanding your immune health. Sure, advanced panels like cytokine profiling or lymphocyte subsets exist, but honestly, for most people, these 5 are more than enough to spot trends, catch imbalances, and take action early on. And let me leave you with this: 70 to 80% of your immune cells live in your gut. That's why your gut health also largely determines how strong your immunity is. I've already got many videos on gut health. Please do check out the playlist. More videos will be added soon. And next week, I'll be sharing powerful holistic remedies to strengthen your immune system naturally. And if words like holistic health, functional medicine, or integrative nutrition excites you, you are in the right place. Here at Fabulous Body, we help people master a proven holistic nutrition system, earn credentials that they are proud of, and eventually call themselves holistic nutrition coaches. I'm Akash. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next video.